Hi guys, so we are back and this is our live video on the topic of posture consciousness, in which now I am going to talk about hip hinging. Hip hinging is very fundamental, and I would like to talk about it in detail. So thank you for joining me again, and just I want to make it clear that hip hinging is one of the fundamental techniques of bending where you can bend without causing any strain into your back. Okay, so hip hinging is always very good. Look at this lady. She is taking some crop out of the, or maybe fish out of the soil with water, and look at her back. It is absolutely straight. This is absolutely straight, no issues. Groove of the back is well maintained. All the bending is here, so that's great. Look at this lady. Woman bending well while washing the clothes. Her back is absolutely straight. Shoulders are behind and hip is bending. Examples of healthy bending from the hips with straight knees and the back. Knees are at, look at how powerful her hamstrings would be. My God. Wow. This is what is called as the back bending. Woman bending poorly. This woman is not bending rightly. She is arching her back, and so she will develop disc prolapse. So this is wrong kind of bending. This is also wrong kind of bending. With poor bending, the site of the most acute bend is often where a person will develop the tension or pain. This person is going to develop disc prolapse or pain here. This lady is going to develop pain here. You can predict this. This will develop pain here. So you can predict actually. Hip hinging strengthens the erector spinae muscles. Hip hinging strengthens the erector spinae. What are the erector spinae muscles? If you're bending properly, these muscles will get strengthened, right? Hip hinging also stretches the hamstring muscles, increasing their flexibility over time. So these are the hamstring muscles. They're actually very shorter in us because we are not bending in our lives properly. But if you are bending properly with time, your hamstrings will become this much long. My God. Tight hamstrings, if your hamstrings are not opened up properly and they're very tight, they will pull on the sits bones. Sits bones are these bones. These are the sits bones. This bone is the sits bone, making it difficult to tip the pelvis forward for hip hinging. So if you are this thing, hamstring muscles are not properly made, not properly developed, or they're tight, what will happen is they will cause the sits bones to, they will pull on the sits bones and they will make it difficult to bend your pelvis forward. So because of this tight hamstring, you can't antevert your pelvis. So what will happen? You will be arching your back. But so what you can do to compensate if your hamstrings are tight, what you can do, first you bend at your back, at your hip joint here, right? So after you have bended at your max at hip joint, then what you do, you just bend at your knees. Bending on the knees compensates for tight hamstring muscles and facilitates hip hinging. So bending the knees compensates for tight hamstring muscles and facilitates hip hinging. So this I will be teaching you in my video, that Whenever you want to bend, first try maximum bending at the hip joint, not at the back. And when maximum bend at the hip joint has happened, but you want to bend more, then what you can do, you can bend your knee joint. So what this man has done is, first he has bended his hips at the maximum, and then when he wants to bend more, if it is not possible to bend the hips more because of tight hamstrings, he is bending his knees. So this I will be teaching you in my practical video. This is the proper way. And this is the improper way, because this man, if he had tight hamstring, he should have bended his knees. In good bending form, the rhomboid muscles grow strong as they work against the pull of gravity. These are the rhomboid muscles. So when you are bending properly, your shoulders will stay back. They will not droop forward, because this lady has bended so much that at his hips, that his shoulders are still backwards. So these muscles of rhomboids are developing now. In good bending form, the rhomboid muscles grow strong as they work against the pull of gravity. This I will be teaching you in my video. So hip hinging exercises the back muscles and does not threaten the disc. So if you're bending properly, your back will be very straight, your muscles will be strong and working, and you will not have any risk of getting disc prolapse. Rounding the back while bending, but if you are rounding the back while you're bending, it will compress the spinal discs in a particularly dangerous way that they may bulge out and you may develop disc prolapse. So never be rounded when you're bending, always be straight like this. But if you have too much of swing, there's little swing, so that back is straight. If there's too much of swing, back will arch forward. The swing while bending generally this will also compress the spine. So this is also wrong. Always whenever you are doing hip hinging, be sure the knees point out in the same direction as the feet. Means feet are facing little outwards while hip hinging, and knees are also facing outwards. So in this will allow the pelvis to nest in between the legs. Pelvis इनके बीच में आ जाएगा अगर आपकी knees outside है. Pelvis यहाँ अंदर आ सकता है, but अगर आपकी knees अंदर ही are not pointing outward, they are pointing inwards, your pelvis cannot come inside the legs like you do in squatting in your toilet or in your old toilet types, where you keep your legs outside like this and your pelvis goes inside. So that is the ideal way how you should be hip hinging. Whenever you want to hip hinge, you should take your legs little far away and your feet should point outwards from front like this. Okay. So a common mistake is to let the knee turn in. So you should never turn your knee in. Fashioning the feet into a more exaggerated kidney bean shape usually solves this problem. If you kidney bean shape अगर आप अपने पाँव को कर लेते हैं, तो आप कभी भी आपकी knees जो है वो inner bend नहीं करेंगे. Some people may find it necessary to also use their leg muscles to rotate their legs outwards and align their knees. So that how to use the muscles of the leg, I will be teaching you in one of my videos on glide walking, that how you can use your tibialis anterior muscle, which can help your feet to align outwards. So what you should be doing whenever you want to bend, do hip hinging, your legs should be pointing, feet should be pointing little outwards. Feet should be pointing little outwards. Knees should never point inwards, right? So this is the proper hip hinging. This man has started bending at his hip. His back is very straight. Knees are little bending. So this is again proper bending. See, the spine is in proper shape, and these are wrong ways. This is the most dangerous way. This is also dangerous, and this is also dangerous. You see here carefully, his shoulders are still behind. Hip hinging offers advantage in athletic performance, like these two people. Compared to this man, this athlete is in a state of mechanical advantage because his shoulders are backwards, his back is well aligned, his knees are facing outside, feet are facing outside. There is a kidney bean shaped feet, and this man is going to win the race because win this war because of his alignment. This is totally wrong. So this ends this session on hip hinging. Hip hinging is very, very fundamental, and now you will see my practical video where I will teach you how to hip hinge very nicely that your back always remains straight. Thank you guys. It is good to talk to you. Thank you very much.